Animal control officers are Allison Budd, Jeff Gustafson, Jeff Thomas, and Amanda Heiss, and they are shining stars. My name is Ed Tucker, and I'm the Chief of Animal Control Services for Charles County. The first day, they were asked to assist the Sheriff's Department. There was a domestic situation on the western side of the county where the male and female had gotten into an altercation, and there was a knife involved, and the female was able to leave, but it turned out that the male half had some warrants, and they also needed to deal with the domestic situation that was occurring. And when they talked to him on the phone, he was threatening to turn his big 4 cane Corsos outside and attack the police officers if they attempted to come on the property. So they asked the officers to come out and give them a backup as far as the animals were concerned. So they responded out there. They came up with a plan. The Sheriff's Department came up with a plan, and basically it was they would deal with the person, and animal control officers would deal with the dog. And they were going to attempt to go inside and contain him. Well, in the meantime, he ran out the back door and took off across the field and brought one of the dogs out with him as a protection. So as the police officers went after him, the dog started after them, and our guys intercepted the dog and were able to keep the dog off the officers in time long enough so that they were able to get him locked up, get him to the cruiser, and get him out of there, and then the animal control officers backed out. There was a couple intense moments, you can imagine with all the different things that were going on, that it got kind of intense, especially when the dog was able to get around them and go towards the officers again while they were escorting the gentleman out. And the way it would have been if the dogs had attacked any of the deputies and they shot at the dog, then they would have also been shooting towards the animal control officers. So we didn't want that to happen. But they were able to get the dog contained, and police were able to get the gentleman off the property, and then everybody left. The dog was contained inside of a fenced yard. The next day, or a couple days later, I forget exactly how long, there was another situation where he had been released, and I believe they had another warrant. They went to get him. He left the property in his house. Oh, he violated the peace order, that's what it was. He wasn't supposed to be at the house. So he left the house in his vehicle and was pulled over and had the dog with him again. And the police were trying to get him out of the vehicle. He refused to come out, and the dog was basically doing what he's supposed to do, protecting his owner. So the animal control officers showed up. They were able to get him out of the vehicle, and then they had to get the animal out of the vehicle before the vehicle could be towed, because we couldn't have it sent to a tow lot with an animal inside of it. So again, they scrapped with it a little bit and were able to contain it, get it contained and put in one of our vehicles, transported to the shelter. But as they did a vehicle search afterwards, on the floor right where the dog was running around was a loaded shotgun with the safety off, loaded, locked and loaded, ready to go. So if the dog had stepped on it, it could have turned into a really, really nasty situation really, really quick. Unfortunately, or fortunately, that didn't happen. So everybody was safe. But it was just, they do this on a frequent basis. They work with the Sheriff's Department. They do search warrants. They do evictions. They do animal hoarding situations, which if you've seen the show Hoarders, you can imagine some of the situations that are on that. It's some of the places they go in are so intense with animal feces, and the ammonia content is super unhealthy to breathe, so they have to actually put on a breathing apparatus to go in and remove the animals and take care of those kinds of situations. They're awesome in what they do.